What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out, and I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. Messed up and out of touch, let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Hope everyone's doing well. I just actually just posted that right before right before the show, so I just flipped it over to public, if you will, because it finished processing. So it was taking a while to start processing, so I actually uploaded a second one, but I just deleted the second one I uploaded. But anyway, yeah, that was a little bit of fun. I absolutely love that. VTOL VR is freaking awesome. Anyway, I think I'm gonna make a relatively easy news night. I got what, 4 tabs? Yep, 4 articles open. Copy. Good stuff. Actually, had the air on for a little while earlier, and then cooled back off, so I'd rather have the windows open. I hear ya. Yeah, I probably wouldn't fare too well without caffeine myself, so I use this method called I don't do it, and so far so good. So, let's see. Oops. All right. This is crazy. So apparently, and okay, there's a technicality here, and we'll get to that. But Jews didn't kill Jesus, says U.S. House of Representatives. Well, I think I'm gonna take the Bible's version over the U.S. House of Representatives. And while I can't say nope, they're the ones that had the hammers. No, they weren't the ones doing the hammering. But as I recall, there were multiple instances to where, our Messiah could have been let go. And not only did the tribe of Judah demand that he not be let go, they demanded that he be crucified. Now, that's what's in the book. I can't help that. So, no, they didn't. They weren't the carpenters in the project. No, but they were the ones that made the decision for it to be done. So I would say that's definitely at least being complicit. I think we could get away saying complicit. So either way, whether it be the Romans or the tribe of Judah, no, I'm not in support of any laws whatsoever that would go against being able to criticize anyone, not just them. But my question is, all of us, we've all already got rights. We're supposed to all already have rights to not be, discriminated against, right? So why does anybody need any extra special, an extra special protection above any and all of the rest of us? No. I'm sorry, I'm not going there. I'm not buying that. I know what this is, and I have one thing to say about it all. Many years ago, I raised hell as Noahide laws were being put into place, which, by the way, is how they're closing up shop on these protests on the college campuses. Because little do you know, most of those institutions, by contract, cannot be in any way critical of Israel. It's literally in their contract. It's kind of crazy, but it's kind of true. And I've just, people going around fear mongering about Sharia law and all that stuff, and I'm not seeing a Sharia law being put in place all over the world. But I am seeing Noahide laws being put in place, especially in kind of private relationships. And when I'm saying that, like contracts, stuff like that, not they're sneaking in with the contract stuff. So, just like they sneak in a bunch of stuff with insurance and all that, they do in all this stuff. It's crazy. Really, truly is crazy. It is a sign of the times, without a doubt. It says here, U.S. House of Representatives has passed a bill which its authors claim is aimed at combating anti-Semitism in American universities. If signed into law, it would mean suggesting that Jesus Christ was killed by Jews could be classed as anti-Semitism. The Anti-Semitism Awareness Act contains a list of contemporary examples which have been shared online by social media users, including Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Among the cases of hatred toward Jews mentioned in the document is using symbols and images associated with classic anti-Semitism, an example, claims of Jews killing Jesus or blood libel, to characterize Israel or Israelis. Approved by 320 votes to 91. Approved by 320 votes to 91 on Wednesday. Did I say approved? I think I said approved. With 21 Republicans and 70 Democrats opposing, the bill would require the U.S. Department of Education to adopt a broad definition of anti-Semitism used by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, which describes the phenomenon as certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred toward Jews. Taylor Greene was among the lawmakers who voted against the bill. Anti-Semitism is wrong, she wrote on X on Wednesday, but added that she would not support legislation that could convict Christians of anti-Semitism for believing the gospel that says Jesus was handed over to Herod to be crucified by the Jews. Other anti-Semitic acts mentioned in the bill include accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel than to the interest of their own nations, making allegations about a world Jewish conspiracy and or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, as well as drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of the Nazis. Why are they wanting protections against all of this stuff? Why? Since mid-April, students have set up protest camps in more than 40 colleges across the U.S. demanding a stop to the violence in Gaza and an end to Washington's support of Israel. Demonstrations were initially peaceful, but clashes have erupted at Columbia University in New York, UCLA, and other colleges as police moved in to disperse the gatherings. Hundreds have been arrested amid the unrest. Israel is facing increasing international criticism over the rising death toll among Palestinians following its latest invasion of Gaza. According to the Enclave's health ministry, more than 34,000 people have been killed in the ongoing airstrikes and ground offensive. The campaign was launched that goes into the history. It's just crazy. It is absolutely crazy what is going on. And now they're having to more or less directly deal with, stuff that I think a lot of people have far overlooked. I'm going to be real honest. Let me have coffee. Yum yum. China tests next generation aircraft carrier. Next generation, they say. Nicotine. Know what I mean? Alright. Chinese Navy on Wednesday launched sea trials of its third and most advanced aircraft carrier, according to the state media reports. The tests mark the final stage before the warship is put into service. With a displacement of 80,000 metric tons, the Fuwan dwarfs the People's Liberation Army Navy's two active carriers, the 66,000-ton Shandong and the 60,000-ton Leonig. Only the U.S. Navy operates bigger aircraft carriers than the Fuhan. The ship features a full-length, flat flight deck with an advanced catapult launch system for jets that will enable it to launch larger and heavier aircraft than the Shandong and the Liaoning. The final testing begins nearly 2 years after the fully domestically designed and built aircraft carrier was first unveiled in June 2022 and comes at a time of escalating tensions in the South China Sea. Sea trials were intended to assess the reliability and stability of the carrier's propulsion and electric power systems, according to the Chinese Navy. The carrier was named among the most important military hardware Beijing is developing. Analysts say Wuhan's ability to launch larger warplanes carrying higher munition loads further away will give the carrier greater combat range than its predecessors in the Chinese fleet, providing the country's navy with blue water capabilities, the ability to operate on the high seas. These sea trials mark the first major step in China's developing the capacity to project sea-based air power into deep ocean areas. Former U.S. Navy captain and former director of operations in the U.S. Pacific Command Joint Intelligence Center, Carl Schuster, told CNN. The Wuhan sea trials represent an important milestone for the plan, marking its entry into the small club of top-class carrier aviation-capable navies, affirmed John Bradford, a Council on Foreign Relations International Affairs Fellow. Aircraft carrier is expected to enter service by late next year or in 2026 when it joins the planned fleet. The Wuhan will become the most visible symbol of China's growing naval power, according to Brian Hart, a fellow with the China Power Project at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. So, says at present, China is the world's largest naval force, with more than 340 warships and counting. China has the largest naval force. The announcement of a fourth carrier for the Chinese fleet could come soon, planned political commissar Wuhan Huazi said in March, as cited by the Global Times. And I'm sure I butchered every single one of those names, because that's how I roll. And with coffee. I don't roll with the coffee, I just drink the coffee. If I rolled with the coffee, it'd be all messy and I'd be wasting coffee. Now, don't you hate when the same thing keeps happening over and over and over and nobody can really put a finger on it or anything? So, by the way, a second Boeing whistleblower dies suddenly. I know. But Joshua Dean, a former Spirit Aerosystems employee who raised the alarm over lax standards in the production of Boeing 737 MAX jet, has died following a sudden and severe illness. Yeah, when you take a bullet to the head, you get sick really quick. I mean, it's like real quick. And you get sniffles and you get a little sad and then you die. And it's a serious illness though. I don't know how the dude died, but anyway, in March, another Boeing whistleblower was found dead in a hotel parking lot, in which authorities tentatively described as a suicide. The 737 MAX airliner has had a history of accidents, including 2 leading to multiple deaths, and this goes into the history of all this. That's more about this. Dean's family members revealed that the former quality auditor at Spiro Aerosystems passed away on Tuesday morning. His relatives said he had been hospitalized just over 2 weeks ago with impaired breathing. Dean was intubated, developed pneumonia, and contracted a fast-spreading antibiotic-resistant staph infection, basically. 45-year-old said to have been in good health and leading a healthy lifestyle, who was put on a life support machine. In October 2022, Dean said he had uncovered a serious manufacturing defect in the production of a key component that helps Boeing 737 MAX maintain normal pressure. He claimed that the management chose to ignore his warnings, after which he filed a complaint with the FAA, alleging serious and gross misconduct by senior quality management of the 737 production line. Spirit Aerosystems fired Dean in April 2023, accusing him of missing another major flaw. The whistleblower then filed a complaint with the Department of Labor, claiming its termination was in retaliation for his revelations. In March, former Boeing quality manager Don Barnett, known for raising concerns about the firm's production standards, was found dead with a gunshot wound days before he was due to give evidence in a whistleblower lawsuit against the aerospace giant. So, just a lot of really unfortunate things happening to a, small group of people. So, coffee. That's the answer. It's always the answer. Because if you don't at least start with that, it's just not going to end well. What? It's true. What? I'm live? I don't care. I'll burn this bitch down. No. Huh? No more no more dongs in the news today. We have something very close, though. Something very close. We're going to talk about Ukraine. If there's ever a limp schlong for the economy, it's the Ukraine situation. Very limp dong. Anyway, so them bastages are accusing us of a support shortfall. So, because we haven't been giving them enough, fast enough. Give it longer, harder, Daddy. The ability to use the ability of the U.S. to maintain the current world order is being undermined by the failure of Kiev's Western backers to ramp up defense production, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmitry Kuleba has warned. Speaking to Foreign Policy magazine, Ukraine's top they all let's see. Speaking to Foreign Policy magazine, Ukraine's top diplomat urged the U.S. in particular to look for problems on your side and not on the side of Ukraine when devising strategies for the conflict with Moscow. Russia has become more efficient in producing weapons than the whole Western alliance. It's a bad sign. Things must change if we are serious about defending the world as we know it, Kuleva said in an interview published on Wednesday. Ask yourselves, what are we doing wrong if we cannot help our ally prevail, the diplomat urged the Americans. If you cannot produce enough interceptors to help Ukraine win the war against the country that wants to destroy the world order, then how are you going to win in the war against perhaps an enemy who is stronger than Russia, he added. By the way, I would argue on who it is wanting to change the world order. Kuleva called on politicians in Washington to adopt a maximalist approach to military assistance and treat Russia as an enemy that cannot be negotiated with while Vladimir Putin remains president. Kiev is grateful for the approval of an additional $60 billion in U.S. security aid last month, Kuleva said, but claimed that the morale boost would have been even stronger if Washington included Patriot anti-aircraft systems in its arms packages. I mean, my day would have been better too. Putin has linked the Ukraine conflict with what he perceives to be Washington's geopolitical vulnerability. Attending the Valdai Discussion Club last October, the Russian leader claimed the U.S. had provoked the fighting, partly to force its European allies to get behind their sovereign and switch to the policy of sanctions and restrictions against Russia. During the same event, Putin stated that Western wealth was to the large extent achieved thanks to the plunder of its colonies over the centuries. He further claimed that Western global influence is a giant military financial pyramid scheme which requires as fuel natural, technological, and human resources owned by others. Which are all very true statements. Very true statements. Fun. Coffee. Because without it, the world wouldn't go around. It wouldn't. Because we'd all be jumping up and down. We'd knock the poles off. It'd be ugly. Okay. Enough of limp dong. Let's see. ICC has no right to investigate Israel, says Washington. No right. And I don't know if I actually said this one last night or not, but I wanted to make sure to include it tonight. Man, I'm just not good with the blank checks. I'm not good with blank checks, no matter what, no matter for who. And I'm all for like equal rights, but I'm not for special rights. Equal rights for everyone, but special rights for no one. That's where I stand. Let's see. Ukraine must defeat Russia to join NATO, says Zelensky. South American state to sever ties with Israel. U.S. has taken UN Security Council hostage, says Moscow. Ukrainian diplomat issues Crimean bridge threat. Israel blackmailing ICC and the U.S., says Axios. Let's see. Ukraine. Perpetrators of Odessa massacre must be punished, says Kremlin. Member state calls for EU heavy brigade. Kremlin responds to U.S. chemical weapons accusations. Tribunal for Ukrainian neo-Nazis needed, says Russia's top senator. Rare Russian books vanishing from libraries across Europe, says New York Times. Irish political party drops Jewish candidate. Threat of sending Western troops to Ukraine necessary, says Macron. A date for Swiss proposed Ukraine peace talks revealed. A Russian military strike on U.S.-supplied HIMARS launchers in Ukraine. 2 Israeli troops killed by friendly fire in Gaza, says IDF. U.S. Republicans want to oust House Speaker? No. Let's see. NATO state rejects madness of proposed 100 billion euro Ukraine war chest. Russia's gas giant posts first loss in quarter century. Russian military destroys German-made Iris-T systems in Ukraine. Israel strikes target outside of Damascus, says media. And lastly, runaway ice cream truck crashes into crowd of kids. So, yeah, in Kyrgyzstan or something like that. Crazy. Runaway ice cream truck rolled down a slope and crashed into a crowd of children during a cultural festival in a mountainous area on central Kyrgyzstan on Thursday. There are conflicting reports about the number of victims, with some local media saying that 31 children and 1 adult were injured, including 4 who were hospitalized with bone fractures. Others say that 29 people were hurt. The tragedy occurred when thousands gathered near the village of Jurgatal for an event dedicated to the Epic of Manas, the 19th century Kyrgyz poem. The attendees, including many students, were sitting on the grass on the side of the hill with a group of participants holding up a large Kyrgyzstan flag. Very large flag. Oh. Yikes. Yikes. Suddenly, one of the parked vehicles began rolling downhill, hitting multiple people. It appears many victims did not notice the incoming truck because they were facing the opposite direction. Truck driver has been detained by police. According to local media, the man told investigators that he had left the vehicle and was speaking over the phone when he noticed that the truck was moving. The authorities have opened a traffic safety violation case. News website quoted police as saying that it's unclear why the vehicle had rolled downhill. So, crazy, man. Crazy. Alright, I am out of here. I am going to enjoy some days off. My buddy's supposed to get his headset soon, so that's going to be fun getting in VTOL VR with him. And I am going to get out of here, and I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you soon. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.